there has been a change in the Arab world. It's true that we have gone through a period of darkness for the last 20 years or so. But after the invasion of Iraq, when Bush stood on the destroyer and said, mission accomplished, if you recall, in 2003, the people of Iraq proved him wrong. They started a resistance which has been unbelievable. They have been fighting relentlessly against this brutal occupying force which has engaged in torture and war crimes. So far, 655,000 Iraqis are known to have been victimized by this occupation. Yet the Iraqi people are fighting the occupation, and by that I mean not only a faction of the Iraqi people, both, if you know both sides, across the sectarian divide, Shia and Sunnis, there is a demand now that the occupation must end. The only way to end the violence in Iraq is to end the occupation. As long as there is occupation, there's going to be resistance, and the American presence is the cause of the violence. So the Americans now have been given a beating in Iraq. The latest elections in the United States show that the American public now realize that this war was a lie. It's not a winnable war. Kissinger himself, who until recently was advising Bush that he should stay the course, is now saying this is not a winnable war from a military perspective. So America has been blooded in Iraq. That's the first indication. At the same time, in Palestine, in the occupied West Bank and Gaza, the Israelis came up with this disengagement plan because they realized that they could not maintain the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza, where 3.8 million inhabitants have to be continuously suppressed and prevented from exercising their freedom. So they came up with this charade, withdrawing from Gaza, but basically to maintain it as a big prison. The guards are now not inside the prison, they're outside this big prison because they control all access to Gaza. Goods and people cannot move in or out from Gaza by sea, air, or land without the approval of the Israeli army. And they thought, after the election of the Hamas government, that they could starve the people into submission and they would sign any agreement that the Israelis and the United States dictate. But again, they were proven wrong. The Palestinians, even though they were starving, the latest statistics now shows 40% are unemployed, 80% are under the poverty level, but they are steadfast, they are fighting, standing, and they are not afraid. And that's the third factor which has come in this summer. It started in Gaza, but it continued in the occupation in the Lebanon, is that the Arabs have lost the sense of fear of the Israelis. In Gaza, since July 1st, more than 400 Palestinians have been killed, and 6 Israelis only have been killed. So this is a ratio of 1 to 70 nearly. Yet the Palestinians are standing firmly, resisting the occupation. They're fighting back, and they're saying, we will not negotiate on our main principles. And what are the main principles of Palestinians? The occupation of all Palestinian land in the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem must end. The Palestinian refugees' right of return should be recognized and implemented. And another demand which has been put forward by 170 civil society organizations in Palestine is that the state of Israel should recognize Palestinian Arab citizens of Israel as equal citizens with equal rights and responsibilities. So the battle is going to the crux of the issue, which is this racist colonialist state which was created in the midst of the Arab world to divide the Arabs and to keep them subjugated so that the imperial powers which is now basically the United States, can continue exploiting the oil and the riches of those countries. So